Hello dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me, Anna, with you here. Today we are in our lovely eucalyptus park. There are a lot of people here today because it's officially bank holiday. It's the day of Spanish Constitution, and there are a lot of people right there playing traditional Spanish petanca here at the park. And we are here today to discuss all the latest news update, the situation, what's basically going on, all the issues that we have during the day of today here in Spain. Everything that you basically should or might be interested in knowing. So let's start with the situation first. As you all know, during the weekend we don't get really the update on the situation as it is. What we do have is some separate cases from different kinds of regions, but not more than that. The last data that we had was for last Saturday, and then we had 13,738 new cases, which is a considerable increase in cases. We're not worried just yet. We continue without being worried because we know that we're vaccinated. We know that it's a natural thing. You know, in winter, as the same as last year, things got worse by winter. So it's kind of how it should be. The index also has increased. We're still in a medium risk in general in Spain. Up until 300 cases, we will be in a medium risk with the new light system that we have, luckily, thank you. We are at 248 cases per every 100,000 people today. For those who are interested in the Omicron, how many cases do we have? Right now we have minimum 7 confirmed cases, but there are still others that are being studied. The situation in general is quite good, although one of the main virus specialists, like epidemiology specialists here in, by the way, if you wonder what that is, I have a vlogmas. I post vlogmas, Christmas vlogs on my other channel, Young Lady Vlogs, and there I tell you the story of how I did this to my finger. Was my fault, but still I got very angry and upset about it. So check that video, check my other vlogs channel to find out what is this. So basically, I mean, the situation is kind of okay, and that epidemiologist, that specialist, what he said is that there are more and more evidence each time that this kind of mutation, you know, the variation, just escapes the vaccines and still attaches to the body the same way as if a person would not be vaccinated. What they are although saying is that since our cells have memory, like T cells, we have memory inside our body. So even though the vaccines would not work, but these cells are supposed to remember the virus and still protect us in the major way possible. And also the best thing is that with these new mutations, this virus is way lighter, I would even call it, because all the cases are light cases, or no symptoms at all, or just light cases. That's basically it. So no deaths, no hospitalizations, no ICU units about it. So for now, it kind of looks okay. And this is what they're basically saying. Even though the virus is mutating, it's getting easier and easier to just survive, you know, and just pass the virus, and that's it. Which is a great thing because it kind of starts being as a just flu or as just a constipation, you know, just some, you know, just a normal seasonal disease, and that's basically it, like a virus thing. So it's very, very good for all of us. We'll see what will be going on, but this is why the authorities are not worried, not going to put any kind of new restrictions, that's for sure, at least for now, because they see that the cases are mild and very easy. And it's just not going to affect the hospitals and not going to affect the ICU units, so why to be worried? Let's just leave it go its natural course. At least that's what Spain is thinking for now. The green certificate is already obligatory in 8 different regions. As you all might know, one of them is the Valencian region. I've posted a few days ago the video of a secret guest who went to a few bars and cafeterias in Benidorm. And I was filming in there. I left the phone open with a sound on, and I was just asking if I could go and sit down inside. In places where it's more than 50 chairs, they should be asking for a certificate, but they just did not. I get maybe that's because they don't know if it's obligatory, maybe they don't have something clear still, or maybe they see there's just a few people inside and they just let it pass, you know. So not sure why. I do know that in nightlife, certificates are being asked, that's for sure. In night pubs and nightclubs, certificates are being asked. Although they don't ask the passport and things like this in a lot of places, so not too sure, but it is working. Certificates are here at least for 30 days, and then we'll see what will be going on. Here at least it's not as severe because we don't ask it in gyms, we don't ask it in shopping centers, we don't ask it in like all closed surfaces, you know, just in bars, restaurants, in places where people take off the mask basically. So it's not as bad as it kind of seems. This is the situation for the day of today. The second news that I wanted to share with you all is that in Spain, sadly, people are once again leaving the villages and getting back towards the bigger cities. You know that this whole pandemic situation has changed the habits of a lot of people, and a lot of people went out from cities, from like big cities, capitals of regions. They went to villages, like to their own house with a lot of space, because they were afraid we will be locked down once again. And it's just too difficult for a lot of people to stay inside of a building when you don't even have like a balcony or a free open air space to go out to. So a lot of people were searching for different types of properties with at least like an open terrace or a garden just somewhere outside of the city. Now, when people got used to it, they are coming back to the big town, to the capitals of the regions. And sadly, villages suffer once again. You know that here in Spain, we have some specific projects, at least like 20 more or less villages in the whole Spain. They are offering specific project when if you have something to bring into the community, they offer you a free home, or at least like very, very reduced rent home. They offer you a work, even sometimes like a normal job, or they offer you any kind of job opportunities for you to invest and like start your business in there. They have a lot of different offers in order to attract people back to the villages, to save the schools from shutting down, to save the supermarkets from shutting down, like any kind of business basically from shutting down and just leaving the village totally abandoned. This was working, but Spain has way more than 20 small villages inside, so it's normal that more and more of them each time just get abandoned, which is a very, very sad situation. And also these people who went to the villages right now are going back to the cities, so it's a very difficult situation here in the country. No one knows what to do with it. These alternatives, these projects to offer free home, of course they're working, but only if all villages will start offering that, like the majority of villages in Spain, then maybe they will get saved. But if not, sadly, we will be left with empty villages very, very soon. And all these people, they're going to the cities and they're not only renting, but also buying for the first time, like in a lot of time period, in a long time. People who are buying, they are more, like the percentage is more than those who are renting a home. A lot of people were just waiting to see when the prices will drop, or the pandemics came and they kind of were indecisive on what to do. But right now they've decided that it's the time, right now is the time to buy the property because the prices were lower. They started going up slowly but surely, which is why a lot of people are buying properties right now. The prices went up already by 2%, and next year they'll be approximately 4% higher than right now. So if you buy like a good expensive home, it's going to be a big difference, trust me. And where they're buying the most, of course, in the capitals like in Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, Sevilla, Zaragoza, in cities like this, Malaga as well. In other words, people are just looking for a better quality life, to enjoy more of their home, of their house, spend more quality time in there, which is why they are choosing bigger cities, because they have a lot more, sadly, to offer than villages do. The next news is about the traffic changes, about the rules for the traffic change that will be starting. It started already this year, one of the parts, but the true change will be starting from 2022, which is basically like in a few weeks' time already. And the main thing is, especially for those of you who will be coming with a rented car here to Spain, to our area in general, like to all Spain, what you need to know is that before there was a law that basically permitted you to so when you go on a road and you have a car near you, you want to go faster than it is, so you turn to the right, to the left, like if the car goes by 80, you can go by 100. you know, or if the maximum is 120, you could have gone with 140 just to get slightly forward and then go once again to the right side if you needed to pass this car, you know. Right now, it's not going to be the case anymore. It's not going to be possible. And this, these extra 20 kilometers per hour will just disappear. So if the car goes by a maximum, like, permitted amount, let's say 100 per hour, 80, 120, doesn't matter. You cannot go faster than this. So you just need to go behind it, or you can go to the left side, like, to pass it, but you need to maintain the maximum allowed speed limit. You cannot go more than that, because then you would get a fine. A lot of people are unhappy with it, and especially are unhappy with the new system that would be more harsh on the drivers that use, for example, mobile phone. Before, they did not take any kind of points from your driver's license. Here in Spain, we have 15 points maximum. Before, they did not do that. They just put a fine, like a small fine. Right now, they'll be taking 6 points out of your driver's license if you use a mobile phone while you're driving, 4 points if you don't wear a seat belt, for example, and also if you use an app which detects radars and which detects these mobile things that just calculate your speed, then you'll be getting from 500 euros fine and also 3 points. It's way more harsh. From one side, it's okay because I'm like a good driver, you know, I never go over the speed limit. I always go by rules. So as for me, I feel way more safe when I go with my daughter, with my family in the car, because it's like just a safer way to drive, you know. You kind of feel more secure, if you know what I mean. But I get the drivers who are speeding all the time. I get the drivers, for sure, they will not be happy with all this. Also, for those of you who will be renting scooters and bicycles in Benidorm, you should know that right now the helmet is obligatory, and it will be obligatory for next year. There'll be some fines if you won't use a helmet. Also, you're not allowed to drive on the road, like a normal pedestrian road where people are just walking. You have to go by special bike trails or by a road where cars go. So you're not allowed to go down the walking zone where people are just walking or doing sports. You know, you cannot do that because there have been quite a few very, very severe accidents with bikes and scooters, which is why this is forbidden right now. Also, the maximum speed is of 25 kilometers per hour. When I've used the scooter that I rented at the rentals, Benidorm trips, I have a video about it. If you where we were checking these certificates, you can check that. So when I went with this scooter, the maximum speed that I've reached was 22 kilometers per hour, and not more than that. It does not go more. And it was on a very good road. In the city, it's even less than that, so it's okay. But you need to wear a helmet. Also, they actually say that you might even need the specific certificate for circulation in the city, even for scooters. They still did not define it. We don't know how it's going to be, but this is what they want to impose. This is a new rule that they want to create. I know a lot of people will be unhappy with that, but they are doing it just for our safety. But I mean, I know people will be unhappy with this new measure starting from next year, especially if the certificates will take place. The last news comes, of course, from our lovely and sunny and very, very warm today Benidorm area. I've been telling you that we've had quite a lot of issues with Inserso, you know, these third age groups, the pensioners that usually come with big buses, entire buses, towards the hotels here in Benidorm area, Albir and Altea, all this area of Valencian community. They're coming usually in winter, and it's really, really very cheap to come. It's approximately 200 euros for an entire week, or maybe even more. Hotels suffered a lot with the price decrease because the costs are just more than what they earn with these groups. But eventually they've approved this. And then what happened is that basically the government did not sign the contract, so these groups could not come. A lot of the hotels were planning on shutting down, but yesterday I've spotted officially the first bus here in the area with third age groups, with Inserso, so-called. So they are coming. They've started to come, which is an amazing news for a lot of hotels in our area, which means that quite a few of them will strongly reconsider the option of staying open because the groups are finally coming slowly, but they are coming. So it's quite probable that the hotels that were planning to shut down finally won't do so and will keep themselves open for these groups and for some other tourists that are planning to visit our lovely area, which is just great. I'm very happy for them because I know that a lot of people will maintain their job positions as well, which is something that we were all waiting for. Keep our jobs and slowly start to recover after all this severe crisis and problem with jobs in our region without tourists basically for more than a year in a row. So let's see what will be going on. But as for now, everything seems quite positive for the hotels, at least with these groups coming back once again. And what about the weather here? Today it's very, very sunny, even here in the park with all these eucalyptus trees around us. The weather is very nice and warm, and more or less it's going to be the same during all this week. I'm going to go slightly to the side so that you could see the map better. This is what's going to be basically happening today and almost all the entire week. There's going to be some rain on the north parts of Spain. And by Friday, it will be going down towards center and south parts, but it's not going to be raining in Benidorm or like extreme south parts, so it's all fine. We might have some clouds, but not more than that. Temperatures are very nice, especially here in Valencian area and the South Spain. As usual, we have the warmest temperatures ever, except for the Canarian Islands. They have slightly more than we do. Today in Alicante and Benidorm, we expect approximately 20 degrees. We are heading towards the mid-December and we'll have 20 degrees maximum temperatures today, which is just great news for all of you who are visiting or planning to visit very, very soon our lovely area of Benidorm. Barcelona is having 15 degrees, Granada 16, Malaga 20, Sevilla 18, Madrid 13, Balearic Islands 16, Canarian 22 as usual. That's their like fixed winter temperature. Valencia will have 19 degrees today. The water temperature has changed just a little bit. Right now it's 17 degrees here in the area. Just so that you know, it's not as warm as it was before. Basically, no one is swimming right now. At least they're like paddle surfing or doing some kind of sport, scuba diving. But apart from that, people are not swimming already here. If you're coming from north countries where it's very cold, maybe for you it's still a perfect weather and perfect water temperature to swim. These were basically all the news for today. I hope you enjoyed watching them. I wish you a lovely and light beginning of Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video from Benidorm area. Bye everyone.